Hello, second graders, and welcome to our math lesson for today. Today's lesson is 10.3, which is titled Make Picture Graphs. And the essential question that we're going to be asking ourselves and answering by the end of this lesson is, how do you make a picture graph to show data in a tally chart? So basically what we're going to be doing is we're going to be taking the stuff that we learned in 10.1, which was about tally charts and making tally marks, and we're going to be putting it together with what we learned yesterday in 10.2 about making picture graphs. So now what we're going to learn about is we're going to be taking the data that we find or we make in a tally chart, and somehow we're going to put that into a picture graph and kind of represent our data that we collected in our tally chart with a picture graph.
Hi, friends! Some of the kids saw this group of tall flowers growing in front of the log. They decided to find out how many flowers there are of each color. They listed the colors of the flowers in a tally chart and recorded the number of flowers of each color. Click the flower to see the tally chart. This chart shows how many red, white, blue, and orange flowers the children counted. But I think there's another way to show this information too. Maybe we can make a picture graph. Come on, let's find out more about making a picture graph to show data in a tally chart.
Here are some cubes of 4 different colors. Let's make a picture graph to show the number of cubes for each of the 4 colors. We'll use a smiley face to show each of the cubes in the picture graph. The first cube is blue, so we show it in the picture graph with this smiley face in the blue row. The second cube is red. Where does the picture of the smiley face belong for this cube? It goes in the row labeled red. The next cube is another blue cube. Let's show it in the picture graph here. The next cube is orange. It goes in the row labeled orange. The next 2 cubes are green, so 2 smiley faces go in the row labeled green. This cube is blue. It's the third blue cube. This cube is red. It's the second red cube. There are 2 green cubes left. Click the picture graph to show the last 2 green cubes. Did we show all the cubes in the graph? Let's check. There are 3 blue cubes, and we have 3 smiley faces in the blue row. There are 2 red cubes, 4 green cubes, and 1 orange cube. This tally chart shows the number of flowers each child picked. You can make a picture graph to show the data in the tally chart. Count the number of tally marks for Jessie. There are 2 tally marks, so Jessie picked 2 flowers. We'll show this information in the picture graph. Notice that a blue oval stands for 1 flower. Place 2 ovals in the picture graph in Jessie's row, 1 for each tally mark. How many tally marks are beside Inez's name? There are 5 tally marks to show that Inez picked 5 flowers. Drag the correct number of ovals to the picture graph in Inez's row. Then check your work.
Okay, so again, he has 5, based on the tally chart, he has 5 flowers that he picked. So we're going to add 5 little blue ovals to our picture graph. So there's 3, 4, and 5.
Excellent! There are 5 ovals in Inez's row to show that she picked 5 flowers. Now, count the number of tally marks for Paulo. Then, place the correct number of ovals in the picture graph.
Okay, so on the tally chart, it shows that Paulo has 1, 2, 3 tally marks next to his name. So therefore that means that he picked 3 flowers. So on the picture graph next to Paulo's name, we're going to add 3 blue ovals.
Good job! Paulo has 3 tally marks, so there are 3 ovals in his row on the picture graph. The tally chart and the picture graph show the same data. The tally chart shows the data with tally marks. The picture graph shows the data with pictures or symbols.
Okay, so pretty easy. You just have to look at the tally chart, and then for how many, like in this example, if it was flowers picked, so however many flowers are picked by Jesse, then that's the same number that you make on your picture graph. Same with Inez, who picked 5 flowers, so therefore we had 5 blue ovals. And same thing with Paulo, who picked 3 flowers, so we have 3 blue ovals next to Paulo's name.
Now let's practice with the personal math trainer.
All right, let's do it. Okay, so it looks like for question 1, we have a tally chart here about favorite fruit, and then somebody used that data from the tally chart and made a picture graph to show favorite fruit. So now let's see what the question is asking us. It says, how many children chose a fruit that was not a banana? Okay, so by looking at both the tally chart and the picture graph, we see that 2 people picked banana. Okay, so we're going to count, and that's the great thing about a picture graph, is the picture graph kind of helps us count better instead of counting all those tally marks. So we're going to count all the smiley faces on the picture graph except for the 2 that are in the banana section. Okay, so we're just gonna almost act like they're not even there. All right, so now let's count the other smiley faces. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So there were 9 children that did not choose bananas.
Fantastic!
Okay. Now this one says, use the tally chart and the picture graph to answer the question. So it looks like there's another question based on the same tally chart and picture graph. Well, actually, it's not the same. It's the same title, favorite fruit. However, the numbers have changed for this one. So we just got to be careful about that. So the question is asking us, which 3 fruits were chosen by a total of 10 children? Okay, so we kind of did a problem like this yesterday. What I didn't think of, and I think would be a lot easier, is if you just look at the answers and see if that works. So the first answer, or the first option that we can choose from, says apple, plum, and orange. So let's see if when we count the apple, plum, and orange smiley faces, let's see if we get 10 exactly. Okay, so let's start with the apples. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then we go to the plums, 6, 7, and then the oranges, 8. So that does not equal 10. So that is not an option. So the next option is apple, banana, and orange. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on the apples. Then we go to the bananas, 6, 7, 8, and then the oranges, 9. So that doesn't equal 10 either. So option C says plum, banana, and orange. All right, let's give it a try. So start with the plums. 1, 2. Then we go to the bananas. 3, 4, 5, and then the orange, 6. So that doesn't equal 10 either. So it must be D, but let's just double check to make sure we have it right. So it says apple, plum, and banana. So we'll start with the apples. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then the plums. 6, 7. Then the bananas. 8, 9, 10. So our answer is option D. Apples, plums, and bananas were chosen by a total of 10 children.
Well done!
Okay, so that's just how, again, you take your data from your tally chart, okay? Then you turn it into a picture graph, And then once you have a picture graph is very easy to help you answer certain questions like that. Now, you might not just see this same kind of question, which is what we also got as one of our questions from yesterday's examples. Some of the questions might be, again, comparing to. So it might say, how many more people ate apples than oranges? And so remember, to find that out, we would find the difference between apples and oranges. So apples has more smiley faces, and oranges has less smiley faces than apples. So we're going to take the total number of people that picked apples, and we're going to subtract the number of people that picked oranges from the apples. Okay, so to answer that question, we would say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 5 minus 1 equals 4. So 4 more people chose apples than oranges. So that's just another question that you'll see. You'll see a lot of different questions that will be very easy to answer once you have taken your data from your survey or your chart and turned it into a picture graph. So picture graphs, again, are just easier ways to help you answer certain questions about your data.
Now try your homework on your own with the Personal Math Trainer. It includes the exercise you saw at the beginning of the lesson.
Okay, so now what you're going to do is you're going to log into Think Central and do the assignment for 10.3. There is no other video next to this one because, again, they gave us some pretty good examples there and really gave us some good activities to kind of do together and some really good examples that kind of show us how to use our picture graph to answer questions about our data. So now you're going to log into Think Central and do the assignment for 10.3 and complete all the questions the best that you can. Okay, everybody, great job in math today, and good luck on your math homework.